weather video. Your host Mouse. It's all about the intense heat, and you're gonna feel it build over the next few days. But I'll talk to you about how long it's gonna last by looking at temperature trends from the Climate Prediction Center, as well as looking at our overall pattern and where those storms will be if you have any plans on traveling, which I'll be doing over the next few days. But let's get started by looking at those temperature trends, which really explains a heat wave that we're gonna be dealing with over the next few days. And remember, you're watching this on the week of July 20th, so that there's no confusion. But as you can see, a good portion of the country, even us in Missouri and Illinois, are covered under above average temperatures over the next few days. And these would be temperatures well into the 90s. Actually, this coming week, the week of the 20th, we'll have temperatures getting in the mid to upper 90s. And our normals for this time of the year are actually in the mid to upper 80s. So it isn't your typical heat. And of course, it isn't going to last an extremely long time, but it will last for a good majority of the latter portions of July, and that is why you and your family need to be aware about that, especially your neighbors. If you haven't let them know about that, or you know their air conditioning is not the best, probably even want to bring them over to your place so that they can cool down as well. So I don't want this to sound like a crazy thing, because we're used to it. It is your typical summertime weather in St. Louis, but it isn't your typical heat, because we'll have those temperatures in the mid to upper 90s. We also got to think, a lot of people are also, cleaning from tornado damage from May's tornado. So we also got to make sure we're taking care of them and that they can stay cool during this heat as well. Even in that 8 to 14 day temperature outlook, you notice as we get into the latter portions of July, even to early August, we still see signs of above normal temperatures, especially the further west you head. Not saying we'll have temperatures near that 100-degree mark even through here, but they'll still be above normal temperatures. Remember, our normals are in the mid to upper 80s, so we'll have temperatures kind of well above that. So thinking about the pool, that is what you're going to want to do. And again, making sure you're avoiding those strenuous activities. But let's talk about the pattern that we're dealing with, storm probabilities from Northern Illinois University. Because yes, you do see the probabilities of storms further up to the north over the next few days, which is the week of July 20th. But when you have a heat dome that is over the U.S., that really forces those rain chances further up to the north. Because when you're under that heat dome, those rain chances really diminish. And I know that sounds strange because you want rain to cool you down, but the further north you live, that's where those opportunities would increase, like Iowa, Minnesota, for example, even parts of the plains, where ridge runners, kind of is what we call them, will go along that high ridge of high pressure. That is where those storms will track, which unfortunately is just to our north. If we could get them to move a little bit further to the south, that is how we get some relief. But eventually this pattern would break. It will take some time for it to. That's why it's a heat wave, a long duration event. But eventually it will, and we'll keep an eye on the latter portions of if any disturbances want to come our way, which would give us some relief. So yes, we got that heat building up over the next few days, but eventually, we could have some rain storms that would give us some relief. It's just not going to be this coming week, because when you have that area of high pressure, those rain chances really start to diminish. So you want to be taking care of yourself over the next few days. Of course, again, we're used to it in St. Louis. We're used to 100-degree days or temperatures in the mid to upper 90s. But again, it's not your typical heat. And I know a lot of people have gone through a lot, especially after the May tornado. I also got to say that it's also the best week to get out to the pool as well. So if you have a pool in your backyard, definitely take use of it over the next few days, because you will need it. But for us that are just always focused on the stormy aspects of things, because we all know that heat and humidity has a lot of moisture that can drive storms, you always want to have a NOAA weather radio on you. Replace the batteries on them because alerts come immediately. Of course, other resources are your phone, but remember, what if your phone dies? So anytime during the summer, whether it's winter, spring, summer, or fall, you want to always have a NOAA weather radio on you, because our National Weather Service, they're always watching the weather, and they want you to always be alert, even on a sunny day as well. So having this NOAA weather radio will get that information sent right to you, so that you and your family can be safe while enjoying the last days of summer, as we actually are in the dog days of summer, as school will be resuming in the next few weeks, which sounds crazy, but this summer is going pretty fast. But again, make sure you get that NOAA weather radio. It's a lifetime thing. It's not something we tell you about when there's storms coming. I always like advertising this for Midland USA. just because I care about your safety and I want you to be safe. So anytime during the year, again, this is just a procedure. It's not a stormy pattern that we're dealing with. It's unfortunately a heat wave over the next few days. Still, you want to always have a NOAA weather radio, because I know a lot of people have storm anxiety. We've gone through a lot in St. Louis this year. So just always have a NOAA weather radio to keep your family safe during the 2025 severe weather season. So yes, that intense heat is on the way, and I'll feel it as well while I'm doing a little bit of traveling this week. You will as well, but again, just make sure you're taking those procedures, drinking plenty of water, staying hydrated, checking on your neighbors, and getting into that pool. If you have a pool in your backyard, that is probably the only reason why you should be outside, because I think a lot of us will be staying in the air conditioning. But I'll brave the heat to bring you those outdoor weather reports from wherever I am, especially when I'm traveling. You want to make sure you're following me on X for the latest updates. Threads and Instagram are also other great resources as well. The link to my X page, which is my biggest audience, will be down in the description. So if we have any storms to talk about, which this week it's all about the intense heat, you definitely want to follow me on there so that I can bring you that information as soon as possible. And also make sure you're liked and subscribed with notifications on this channel as well, so that when I'm not able to upload, the moment I'm back, you get notified and you're one of my first viewers to view this video. So thank you for those that are already viewing this the first few minutes that it was uploaded. But if you're viewing this a week or two later, just know this heat wave is basically the week of July 20th. That's why I always put the dates in my video, so that there's no confusion. So stay cool, St. Louis, stay hydrated. We'll get through this. Just remember, it isn't your typical heat, and you definitely want to take care of yourself. And it won't last a long time, but just know you want to take care of yourself and your neighbors.